Good afternoon. My name is Steven Laskowski, data researcher with Davron. I'm joined this afternoon by David Coreen, senior matchmaker.
Hello.
This afternoon, we're going to talk about Boolean searches and how you can apply that to help find your next job through CareerShift.
Great. Well, how are we going to do all that, Steven? What do you got in store for us today?
All right. For today's example, we're going to presume that you are an architect with a lot of hospital experience who would like to find a firm to work for in the Beverly Hills area. We'll use the area code 90210.
My favorite show.
Shout out to Tori Spell.
Oh, for sure you were an Ian Ziering kind of guy, Steven.
I'm more of a Luke Perry, Jason Priestley.
Right on. Okay, so what are we doing next?
All right,
went to the companies.
We're going to go to the companies, and we're going to click search. And that's going to bring you to this screen. Now we have our keywords here.
There we go.
You're an architect, so we're going to start with the word architect. And I like to keep everything in quotation marks, each term.
So I guess my question is this: you have where you're using keywords that you're using for identifying the kind of companies you're looking for. But what are some of the other parameter or search parameter that we have here is company name?
We have, my apologies. We have the company name. So if you know the name of the firm you want to work for, let's say, for example, HKS.
Okay.
You can type that in there and hit search. And there's
everybody that's got HKS, or I guess the third one down, Hibbett, Carlson, Sorensen, it's picking up either on the website or a semantic search result version. Fair enough. But in this case, in purposes of this search, we are going to be specifically looking for keywords, right, Steven?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we're going to just, you can hit this little reset button right here.
Why do you keep getting a little red thing there, Steven?
It's our recording software keeps defaulting to the pointer rather than letting me search.
Okay. Well, I thought the little red thing meant something. All right. So in this case, I'm a healthcare architect. So I'm an architect. I specialize in either hospitals or I imagine nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, and the like. What do I do?
All right. So again, you want to start with your what I like to call base keyword architect. You're an architect, so that's where we're going to start.
Now, I noticed again that you're using it in quotes. What's the thought behind that, Steven, in a Boolean search concept?
The Boolean will take everything within those quotes and search for it exactly.
So in this case, you're really not leaving anything to chance. And by even using just the word architect and putting it in quotes, you are telling the system not to give you anything else, but in this case, architect the way it appears right there in those quotes. Am I summing that up correctly?
Absolutely, David.
Got it. Okay, and what else? You got a healthcare architect, right? Or an architect that builds hospitals. Architect. So how would we define that?
Now, you could try architect and hospital, but with my experience, I've discovered that most architecture firms advertise those as healthcare projects. So in this case, I feel we would be better served using architect and healthcare versus hospital.
Now, I also noticed that you're using the word and. I know it's a Boolean operator. You have it all capitalized. Why?
That's just how the Boolean operators work. You have your operators and, or, near, far. We'll cover that in a later video. But for now, just know this particular Boolean is going to take every company that has the word architect and, once I change this, healthcare in there. So the prevailing theory is you're going to get all the companies that deal with healthcare architecture.
Understood. So are we right? No, wait a minute. I love that 90210 show, and you promised me to find some healthcare architecture firms that were in Beverly Hills. So how do I do all that?
Well, we're going to go here. You can search by area, and we also have a feature where you can search by company size. If you want to work for a big Fortune 500 company, or if you want to get more intimate and help, a 10-person firm grow into something great, you can filter your searches by that.
Can you click down on the minimum company size or any of those so we get some idea of what kind of choices we get?
Absolutely. We have a bottom of 5, but we can go all the way up to 10,000.
Understood.
And then we also have the same thing for company revenue.
So here's a pretty powerful way to get granular on your search if you're looking to work for a small company or a large company, a company with just a handful of people or north of 10,000 people. There's a way to do that, but to go back to my dream of being a healthcare architect in Beverly Hills, how do I get there?
All right. So you can go back to your location area criteria. It's always going to default to country United States. You can go state, city, but we're going to go right to Beverly Hills. I hear Cedar Sinai has some projects they want to work on. So if you're a healthcare architect, they're probably looking for folks to work on there.
Phenomenal. I'm going to go there to get plastic surgery, Steven. I hear that's where all the superstars get it done.
Best in the business.
Yeah, wait. Okay. And then
All
the
right.
zip radius. What are our choices?
So we have a minimum of 10, and we can go all the way to 100.
Well, I don't know if I'd be willing to commute to Beverly Hills 100 miles. 50 also seems a little far. Can we try out 25 miles, Steven?
Absolutely, David.
Are we now ready to search? Is it ready to go? Or is there anything else that we should do in addition to this?
There is one other small trick, and as you do more searches, you'll begin to see the overlap in keywords. The IT industry also uses the keyword architect for, information, IT, infrastructure, and so forth. So we actually have an industry tab to where you can filter out those companies.
Okay.
And for this particular case, is going to be found under construction. And then you can see here, architecture, engineering, and design.
Understood. Obviously, software architects that design healthcare systems need not apply. I'm a healthcare architect that builds hospitals. Putting myself in the architecture, engineering, and design industry space makes total sense. Are we now ready to find my ideal job in Beverly Hills, Steven?
Absolutely. We have our keywords, we have our industry, we have our zip code, and our radius.
How exciting. Fire it up. Let's see what we got.
Hit search. You can hit either search button. It doesn't matter.
If I had a Q button for the 90210 theme, I would fire it up right now, Steve.
With every click, it would go.
So, what do we have? What kind of results? We got 13 companies.
We do. We have RBB Architects in Los Angeles, California. And you can see it'll give you a brief. There's that arrow again.
There's that arrow.
Yeah.
I love that arrow. Okay.
So it gives you a brief overview of the company.
Okay.
Now, if you actually want to take a little bit deeper of a look in, you can either click company details or the name of the company itself.
Well, I see over here that the firm has successfully completed over 10,000 healthcare laboratory higher ed projects. So it sounds like we're kind of on the right track. So how do I find out more information about RBB Architects? What exactly can I click on to drill down even further to get more information?
Yeah, absolutely. You can either click the company details or the name of the firm right here, and it's going to open up a new screen where you have the name, the website, location, general information.
In addition, it looks like you got revenue information, number of employees, a description, and what's this about key people over here, Steven?
Now, these are all the key decision makers at RBB. We have just Mr. Balbona, Chief Executive Officer, all the way down to Adam Kuklin, the accounting manager.
All right.
You want to get your resume in the hands of decision makers.
I understood. So this is powerful information here. If I am a architect, and rather than applying through Monster or LinkedIn or Indeed through an applicant tracking system, this seems like a pretty powerful way to personalize an application process. So I don't know if I would want to go for the top and hit Joe Balbona, almost like Rocky Balboa. I wonder if they're related. But if, let's say that a project director is a possibility, I imagine a senior project manager is a possibility, a VP. What happens if I click on, let's say, Kevin Boots, where it says View Contact, Steven?
All right. We're going to click on Mr. Boots' View Contact, and it'll give you a brief rundown. He's got a main phone number, presumably a cell phone, but that's the same number.
Okay, well, you do have a phone contact number, and you have a direct email for Mr. Boots. What else?
It also gives, little articles it picks up around there, and you can briefly scan these and see like, this is an individual I really want to get my message across to.
Well, I see over here that he's an architect. He's also a lead AP. So it does sound like not only is he a decision maker in the company, but he's also a decision maker in the architecture space for the company. Maybe somebody to contact. What other information do we have on Kevin Boots on this page, Stephen?
Well, aside from articles, you can see other places they have worked in the past. Sometimes it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. So
That's great.
You could see somebody who's worked with in the past that you may know.
Also, I see some articles that Kevin Boots might have written in the past, and maybe those are other things that you can relay to Kevin, and things like what Steven said, things that really make you stand out, things you can relate will make you stand out from other job seekers. All good stuff. Let's go back, Steven, to the initial company page. And I noticed up above that in addition to the key people, there's also a company contact. What happens if I click on that, Steven?
So this is going to give you
the red arrow.
The red arrow.
Again. All right. Now what happens? RBB.
Yeah. This is everyone who works at RBB Architects that we have contact information for.
So here we've got 84 results, obviously much more than just the key people. I noticed that there's another tab that recently came up on this screen, and it's by position. What does that do?
So when you enable that, after you go through the red arrow,
okay,
you can search either by specific job title or what CareerShift defines as executives, middle management, or rank and file.
So you've got 84 people overall. It doesn't take that long to quickly scan through 84 of them. But if I were just to click on executive, Steven, can you show me what results that I would get?
Absolutely. So you want to check the box, but you still have to search again. So be sure to click the button.
Now we're down to 5 as it defines being executives. Can we click on the mid-management and see how many more people that we get?
Absolutely. So you just re-enable the red arrow again.
That arrow is strong, Steven. Okay. And if I want executives and mid-management, I click both of them then.
Absolutely.
Leave the non-management then. Fire it up. Let's see. We had 5 before.
We're
up to 14.
Added additional 9 middle managers.
And overall, there are 80 some odd contacts in the company. 14 more are considered to be in a managerial type of position. Can we briefly scroll through some of the people that are being displayed from those 14, Steven? Who do we got?
We have everyone from the director of marketing, senior project managers, to senior VPs.
It's a powerful tool for marketing directors, project directors, finance, although our appeal and space is primarily catered to architects, engineers, and construction professionals. I think it's a powerful tool for anybody who is looking for a job. And Steven, let's pretend I am a finance person. What happens if I click on Michael Grabin? I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's grabbing, Steven.
Well, he's not grabbing this red arrow because I beat into the
Okay. So we could click on contact details and then what? Now, we don't have very much on Mr. Grabin. What about that? Why is that?
It could be just someone who never got involved online or never published, not suited to his field.
It's a data aggregating site. We try our best to mine as much information as possible. But we do know that he is the director of finance. We do know that Mr. Grabin's email address is what is displayed there. So in the very least, you have a way of getting a hold of him. Some people obviously have lots of information, including their resume, links to their LinkedIn, Facebook profiles. Others, I think, as noted by Steven, don't have a large online presence. Maybe that's the case for Mr. Grabin. Steven, can we go back to the initial healthcare architect results page where we had a few different companies displayed for us?
Absolutely.
I think that's it. So in addition to RDB, let's take a look at some of the other results. Hamilton Architects. 40 years of experience. I imagine somewhere in there they have done something with healthcare. What else? Let's go look a little bit lower. Steven, Raymer Architecture. Okay. You did an internship with Lloyd Wright. Good for you, Mr. Rayner. What else? Cara Una. So over here, I see that they are today's healthcare leaders. Keep going, Stephen. Let's take a look at a few more. Vario, Picket Design, Healthcare Incorporated. Any that you want to click on here, Stephen, for us to take a look at to see what other results that we can get. We'll pick a random one with the red arrow. Red
There
arrow
we go.
says
The red arrow is spoken.
spoke about Ming Architects. So Ming has nine employees, but I don't see any key people. Why is that?
Let's see. Let's go click on company contacts and see. Well, we literally
Yeah.
don't have a contact. Oh, wait, no, we just have the red arrows.
With the red arrow.
The plague again.
Okay.
And so we do have some.
Well, it's interesting because I see over here that they're called principal and another principal, but somehow the system is not recognizing principals as primary or key decision makers. So I think the lesson here in navigating CareerShift is that the system is only as good as the data itself recognizes. Luckily, the computers aren't quite ready to take over the human race, so it's important to get granular, click through every part of it, because over here I see that you have an office manager, possibly the person to get in contact with, but certainly I don't want to butcher my Wong. I already butchered his name, but he's a principal. Wai Ming Chow is how I would go with that. Another principal, architectural designer, and so on. Stephen, I think a very powerful tutorial for how to find yourself a job if you're a healthcare architect. And I think the importance here is understanding using quotations, understanding that you may be an architect that builds hospitals. However, healthcare is the term to be used in that. More so, play around with the system, folks. Make sure you drill down, click around everywhere, stand out when you apply. Don't be like the rest of the herd. Good luck to you in your job search. This is David Coreen, Senior Matchmaker at Davron.
And this is Steven Laskowski, Data Researcher with Davron. And thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.